Hey everyone, welcome back to the Suzanne and Sarah Real Estate Investing Podcast.
Yeah, we are two real estate obsessed gals building wealth in Bend, Oregon, and bringing you along for the ride.
And building wealth in other places too.
Sure. I guess we'll share.
We will share. Yes. So the quick and dirty of this week, if you only listen to the first 2 minutes, this is what you need to know. We've been bouncing around between filming, buying, selling, funding deals, and we are deep in deal mode and also launching something pretty huge.
I keep thinking of ways to make it bigger, and yeah, it's going to be big. So we're glad to bring you along. And for me, really, I've been soaking up the spring sunshine in my beautiful new backyard, out on the deck in my Adirondack chairs as much as possible. Yeah, in between showings and moving scrap metal around and picking up trash at listings. And then also this week, we got to learn more about rocks. We went on another fun rock counting adventure, but this time it was for our AD TV show. And I didn't really ever expect to do that thanks to a TV show. So that was pretty cool part of our week as well.
So amazing. And when we do these TV shows, we get out and see some of the coolest parts of the state and get to meet some amazing people that are part of our community. And that's what keeps us going back to this show every other month, maybe more, we'll see. But yeah, it's just been so fun to meet all of these just rock stars of our community.
Totally. I agree. Every time we think about letting go of ADT, but then we're like, we do it again. We're like, oh, that was so much fun. Like, we have to keep doing that. And then exactly what Suzanne just said, it's just so fun meeting these core members of our community. And because our town is such a perfect size, it's like we get to run into these people and know them in real life and continue to grow our communities together here together.
And our rock collection.
Sure. Yeah. Never enough of those.
All right. Moving on to our market and business update. Sarah, what's going on out there?
Yeah, it's still like sellers everywhere. And that's been what we've been focusing on in between our helping sell our listings to buyers. But anyways, we've got sellers lined up in Redmond, more rural part of Redmond. It's 20 acres, halfway between Bend and Redmond. And it was actually just a 15-minute drive from that property to our office, which is pretty sweet. And then next week, we've got a short-term rental coming up, a single family home in Sun River. And then also another short-term rental condo coming on the market in Sun River. And I think that's pretty much it. That's on the docket at the moment. Yep. So where are buyers at? We're pulling them out of the woodwork, but let's keep the buyer flow coming because we need to even it out a little bit, I think.
For sure. And luckily we have a very strong database of buyers who know their buy box, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Just important to know, if you are looking for a deal and you maybe want a little extra time to evaluate your deal, I think this is the market that we didn't expect in the spring, but it certainly is. It's a balanced market, I would say.
Yeah.
We've got more sellers active than we have buyers active at the moment. And that means things may shift in the favor of sellers here.
Yeah.
Somewhat, or sorry,
buyers.
In the favor of buyers here, giving buyers a little bit more time, as we already know, with longer days on market, but also being able to negotiate some certain things. So I was just talking to our managing broker when I came in the office today, and she was saying that she has seen recently in the past week 2 low appraisals, one of which the seller had to agree to lower their price by $50,000 because an FHA appraisal sticks with the house even if the buyer bails for 90 days. Yeah, so just watch out.
Yeah,
y'all.
Crazy. I know. We've got a couple unique properties that we need to keep an eye on, that in particular, but we at least I think know enough to be proactive about that.
Yes.
So that's cool. We told you I think last week that our one contingent duplex fell through, but our 3 new listings are coming on are just a good way to switch that out. So what I was thinking about when Suzanne was talking was, I think we know there's longer days on our market, but I was thinking about the listings that we have and are bringing on and have recently got under contract, and we're still finding buyers with shorter days on market than average for our sellers right now.
Yeah.
I'm happy to report that.
And the cool thing is with those past sales that are happening right now, we are dual representing on both of those deals. And we talked last week about what dual representation is. If you need a refresher, essentially it means we are representing the seller, and also we brought that seller a buyer, which is like the best of both worlds in our view when done properly. And if you want to know what that means, listen to last week's episode. But essentially what it means is these are situations where the buyer and the seller end up on a first name basis with each other, with their pets, with their overall investing goals. And that's what we've seen with the folks that have come into our sphere with these particular transactions. Like they are like of the same mind, they have the same goals. And it's so cool to see these properties transition from one astute investor to the next.
Totally. It's magnetic is what it is, really. They're special properties and they're attracting really special and unique buyers. And again, I'm just grateful to have those people in our sphere. And just be able to do the work for them. So
for
what's
sure.
going on with you and behind the scenes?
Do you really want to know?
Yeah,
we're making some big moves of our own. We're selling properties. Some of us are buying new ones. We're expanding into new markets. And we launched, just no big deal, a new arm of our business last week, which is called the Primo Private Money Academy. And we'll be telling you a lot more about that. So essentially, it is our answer to every high achiever we know who is burned out from corporate life and the endless Slack messages and overflowing inboxes and being so busy you can't even respond to your own personal text messages. So if you can relate, put your hand up and maybe put a comment in on this video. But you still want to play big. Like you don't want to be consumed by work, but you still like want to have your head in the game a little. So without working an 80-hour week or becoming a landlord. So we have a game-changing business idea, training program, community that we're bringing you. So lots more to come. Just know that we are building something for the next version of you.
Building off of that, I understand that people who are interested in our new product, Primo, might be those people who are burnt out and having a hard time managing their time. And that is actually the topic of the week for us here. And this is how we get stuff done, guys. It's called focused time. And we wanted to teach you about the power of focused time. And we reworked our calendars a few weeks ago because we knew we had new big things to build. And this past week was our first full week on the new schedule. And let's just say we got some things done.
Yeah, did we ever? And it started out with a little piece of note paper that maybe Sarah, if you can grab that. We just want to show you what we did. We literally
with this.
Here is our time blocking analog style, you guys. So we took that and then we put it into our Google calendars, and then it is the background of everything that we see every time we're on our Google calendars, and it keeps us on track. So essentially, what happened last week? How did it go with our new schedule? Let's just say we got a lot of shit done. And when I'm talking about a lot of stuff, let's see. We built a new web page. No big deal. By ourselves, by the way. We launched the Primo Private Money Lending Academy last week, which was, we built the web page. We launched it. We closed deals, real estate, our own and our clients' deals. We met with our first founding members of Primo. We welcomed new clients who found us from podcasts that we've been featured on, not just our own, and our Central Oregon Investor Network website, and our favorite, past client referrals. We love those because then we know we're working with people that you know and trust. And that generally means that we will too. Yeah, we did.
How do we get this done? It's about the power of time blocking and task masters, right?
Pointing at Sarah. Seriously, I just have to also say this. Like last week, I was so overwhelmed. And I looked at Sarah and she looked at me. She knew I was overwhelmed. And I was just like, I just need you to tell me what to do in what order so I stay on track. And it was life-changing. So helpful, Sarah. So I just want to say thank you for keeping me on track. And this is what you do for our clients. This is what you do for us and for our our team. And so
the
it's
communication
huge.
goes both ways. Again, like it takes a special person to be able to communicate with this in this way. And of course, a lot of care and support for that. We actually care that these things are getting done. So yeah, in order to balance that out though, the reason why we are able to push and accomplish so much is because we do things like take fresh air breaks and sunshine breaks on the patio that was adjacent to our office. I'll go outside and stretch and just breathe and make sure I sit down for 60 seconds. We eat lunch. We have to put food in our bodies every once in a while. But yeah, in addition to that, like that's how we fuel the hustle, right? Is you've got to take the downtime as well. And then also incorporate the fun. And we have it's a priority for us to make our work fun and incorporate fun into our work and make them the same thing. And so that's part of what we did yesterday, right? We planned and filmed our next ADTV episode out in Prineville yesterday. We met Central Oregon rock hounders that actually make a living off of digging up rocks from the desert and turning them into jewelry and selling it. And it's just one of those weeks that reminds us that why we built this life in the first place. And like we get here because we start with the vision, and then we hustle, and we know when we have to take breaks, and we have accountability partners. And maybe I made that sounded like a lot, but
On a good week's work.
With the right team and the right support and enough practice, anybody can do it.
Yes, totally. And one other fun thing that we did too is a lot of people in our circle are friends. So we got to have lunch with one of our lender pals last week, which was so fun to just talk about what's going on in our lives and our business and his life and his business and how we can continue to help each other. And we brainstorm all these great ideas and client gifts. And yeah, it was super cool and just so fun to share that energy outside of just ourselves and our team, because we can always keep each other going and laughing. But it's fun to have other people in our spirit that sharing that energy with us.
No, I agree. And I'm glad you reflect on that too, because I remember walking away from that lunch meeting being like, we didn't do any work in that meeting, but you're right. Like it was in there. It was just sneaky.
And we drove there in Sarah's Jeep, which has no windows and barely any doors. And so how can you not have fun driving with your hair blowing in the wind?
That's why I drive it, because if you have to drive as much for this industry as you do, you might as well have fun while you're doing it. So I think that says a lot about just how we operate in general. And that's pretty much standard operating procedure when you get us, if you can hang on for the ride.
Literally. So client and industry PSA, I'm going to talk to our industry partners here and just going back to what we were just talking about, the power of focused time. If you want more out of your business, dear realtor, lender, title company friends, start with your calendar. Like we said, it doesn't have to be fancy. You can start with a piece of paper, translate that to your Google or Outlook calendar, and time block. And these time blocks are also ways to make it so people can't put meetings on your calendar when you're in your most creative space. Sarah.
I just also share a life hack that I just learned for myself. Okay, you guys ready for this calendar hack? Okay, so I got sent my son's baseball schedule, right? And I put it in ChatGPT. I'm like, hey, turn this schedule into a downloadable file that I can upload into my calendar to put all these dates into my calendar for the rest of whatever the season. And ChatGPT did that for me and gave me a legit file that I was able to, how you can go in and upload.
Oh my gosh. How many hours of time did that save you?
At least one. Or a half of one.
And how many oh whoops, I forgot did that save you?
Yeah, exactly. That's the real value there. Putting it to the bottom of the list. But anyways, so just wanted to share that. Okay, so that was our industry PSA, and we're moving on to our clients. We want buyers to know their buy box. Here's the deal, guys. That goes for whether you are wanting to move to Central Oregon or anywhere for that matter and live in a new primary home, or if you are looking for a particular type of investment property and investment strategy, you have to do some time and set aside some specific focus time to vision this stuff out and do the research, however it is that your brain works. For me, it's like Suzanne just showed you, putting things down on a piece of paper, sitting quietly, giving ourselves enough time and space to actually relax and take a breather and have our monkey minds slow down a little bit. And I will tell you what, like, we see this time and time again. Like, if you come to us as a buyer with at least some kind of vision, we're going to be able to like help you like put that on paper and visualize that, and it will come. Like, it will happen.
Yeah, and we'll bring you the deal that matches your goals. Like this one that we just got under contract for this buyer that we knew, where we're selling we're the listing agents as well. We were just looking back at our notes from our intake meeting with this guy. His biggest hurdles were getting it set up and decorated and figuring out how to run an STR. And we were able to say, this property like overcomes all of those challenges for you. It's brand new. It's from 2024. It's already furnished, has a hot tub. The seller will work with you on transferring the listing and work with you for 90 days to help you get that 5-star rating, super host rating, and seamless guest experience. Like, what else can you ask for as an investor? It's just, here it is on the silver platter.
Yeah, I think he's pretty stoked. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and here's the deal, like, he's paying retail for this, but like, he knows that regardless of paying retail, it's a turnkey, totally set up thing. All of his problems are solved. And the big problem that we're solving for him is bonus depreciation and savings on taxes in 2025.
And just to qualify savings on taxes, this is a 6-figure savings on taxes.
Yeah. So yeah, you might be paying retail. You might be paying a little above retail, but like, somebody's handing you something on a platter and you're getting what you're paying for here. You're going to make it back in your tax savings. So anyways, clarity is the name of the game here, and coming to us and we'll help you do the rest.
Yeah, let's move on to my favorite section, the highs and lows of the week, where you get to know what made us laugh, made us cry, made us high, and made us low. And we laugh a lot, so it's sometimes hard to think of the lows. But this week we have 2 highs, and there's a reason that in last week's episode, we teased something big, because this week we are in the thick of it, because over the past 7 days, we have done more than just talk about changing our business. We have actually built the foundation for it. Like I said, with the power of focused time, with your calendar that includes an hour at lunch for walking and eating, which is also very important. We created, like I said, the full web page for the Primo Private Money Lending Academy. We dialed in our offers and clarified the real value that we bring to burned out professionals. We set a new weekly schedule that gives us the time and space to think, create, and stay out of the chaos that we left behind intentionally. And we're also in the process of exploring how to grow our team. So as we hired our amazing transaction coordinator, Joseph, who's been working with us for just over a month now and has been totally life-changing.
Yeah.
And the latest evolution of our business is growing our team with trusted mentees who have been trained by us. So that helps. They get the vision, they match our energy, they're in alignment, and it's, what else could you ask for? We've already imparted so much of our wisdom.
Yeah. And in reflection on this, the biggest thing for me with these 2 particular people is the way in which I know we can communicate. That's bottom line, the most important thing to me with both of them. And it's, I think, similar communication styles with both, but mostly it's their ability to receive things that are feedback that's potentially controversial and or engage in difficult conversations while maintaining a level-headedness, which is I'm not perfect at by any means. And, but like, I love the opportunity to practice it, right? Especially with people who it's meaningful with, right? Mm-hmm. So anyways, that was a little bit of a tangent, but that's probably the most important piece to me with who we trust to build our team out with.
Absolutely. And we're very protective of our team and this energy that we've built as well. We're very intentional about it. And the one thing I also want to touch on I've been showing this little piece of paper where we drew out our schedule. This is not just a new business launch. This is the beginning of a whole new rhythm. And when I say that, I used to go to the gym from 9 to 10 in the morning, and it was nice after being burned out from corporate for so long. But this means now, like, I get up at 4:30 in the morning so I can be at the gym by 6, be done by 7, do my morning routine from 7 to 8, and be in the office by 8:30. And you too.
Yeah. And you know why though, guys, is because while we add things in, like the other stuff doesn't go away. Like we have to create the time in order to do the new things while maintaining the things like sleeping and eating and exercising, which are important to us and our mind body health, while keeping those things on our schedule. So it's like we have to expand in order to grow, and then readjust once we've hit that threshold again.
Yeah, it's not forever. Like we're not going to maintain a 4:30 a.m. schedule forever, but it's a short-term sacrifice or investment, if you will, for a very long-term gain, which for us is creating more freedom in our lives to do these bigger things, to build a team, to empower them to step up and handle more of our business so that we can be helping more of you to realize your dreams, because that's our goal. We know so many of you out there your brains are buzzing like your Slack messages. Texting back even your friends or your family feels like another task, a thing you got to do. And you've been quietly Googling how to quit your job at 2 a.m. when you can't sleep. Like you're the people we want to help. And that's really what Primo is here to do. And we'll be talking to you a lot more about what this is and what the Private Money Lending Academy is all about, and how it's a great way to utilize your money to squeeze the last little bit out of your corporate job before you decide to hightail it out of there and maybe to another country, which we'll also be helping you with. And we've got just so much we are excited to share with you, but we're going to just leave that for now.
Yeah.
And you're just going to have to tune in future episodes because we have so much more going on.
Yeah, I feel like it's investors' best kept secret, private money lending. And I'm excited to bring it to everyone, because I will tell you from our experience with this, just because you have money and you can afford expensive properties does not mean necessarily that you know a lot. It doesn't make you a bad person. But I am excited to share with those of you who have a lot of money, who may be looking for alternatives and slightly more passive ways of investing than real estate. And this is a way to stay in the real estate game while making really good returns and doing a lot less actively.
Yeah.
It's mind blowing in my opinion. And again, just so excited to spread it. Anyways, on to highs, on to lows, on to cries, on to gratefuls, right? So today, our high, listen, we matched another ideal. Listen, it's buyers, buyers are a dime a dozen, but not every buyer is perfect. We found the perfect buyer for this Vend STR that we've been telling you about. We pitched it proactively and it's a perfect fit. Like, this house is not for everybody or anybody, really. It's for a very particular person. And like, somehow this person was in our network, came out of the woodwork for us, and this seller totally deserves it. And so happy for them. And yeah, they're teaming up, like we said, for a post closing 90-day collaboration where they are working together in order to actually build this together. And that's really the kind of collaboration we love to make happen.
Yeah, it's just an extension of our Central Oregon Investor Network. And what it's meant to do is create community, help people create more freedom in their lives through passive income from real estate investments. And by sharing the knowledge gained with somebody new to the game, like, you're just paying it forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
So cool. All right. The cry. Okay. This is not a full on cry. This is almost more like a "you're not our client" PSA. But it's also just like a why though. If you're using another agent, but you're coming to us asking for all the investor insights on a property, like, maybe it's time to upgrade your agent representation, because obviously we're bringing you value, strategy, and deals proactively direct to your inbox every single week. So don't settle for basic.
Listen, you just reminded me of the other cry for the week, and it's completely related. And this has to do with, don't necessarily use your friends as realtors, dude and dudesses. Hey, this person that we're referring to is using a friend as a realtor. And this happened again this week. I was doing a realtor friend of ours a prop on my day off this week, and I showed up to help her show a listing of hers to buyers who were represented from a Portland agent who just had a baby, who was their friend. And those uninformed first-time home buyers had clicked a Zillow link, got a Zillow realtor out there who had just showed them the place before me. And I showed up and they're coming out with the Zillow realtor. And listen, like, this was not the buyer's fault. It was, they're brand new to this. They just were not getting the communication from their friend, the realtor, who, in my opinion, just completely unethical to even think that you can represent somebody in this market in that condition, for one, for two, like, yeah, just, and then not giving them the support they need when they're flying to town specifically to look at homes. And then that was crying number one. Then crying number two, the Zillow realtor showed up to show them a home without having a signed buyer's representation agreement from them. But I'm the girlfriend. If you are choosing to fill your pipeline from Zillow leads, you should probably have this part figured out. I'm sorry you feel like you just wasted your time. I just wasted 30 minutes of my time driving across town to get here. But I'm okay with it because I was actually able to diffuse the situation and not make it so like they didn't feel guilty and awkward and have that negative association with this agent's home. But it was crazy. It was crazy. So yeah, there's a lot to cry about.
But that, I'm going back to a PSA here for buyers. When it says talk to agent on Zillow and Redfin, you are not talking to the listing agent. You're talking to the agent who paid to receive those leads. They know probably next to nothing about that property except what is visible to you on those websites. So do yourself a solid and scroll down a little more to where it says listed by, and then Google that name and call that person. That's how you get to the actual agent who listed the property. They hide it in there because they want you to call that agent, that Zillow agent who's paying Zillow a ton of money for that lead. You're going to get way better service by calling that agent, or just call us.
Yeah, all good. All good. But man, it just makes me sad when agents from other markets think they can represent buyers in other markets.
Oh, yeah.
It's a sad story.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Definitely not doing their clients any favors. So turning the corner here, I'm going to talk about something that we're super grateful for. And like last week, it's a person in our lives. And this is for our amazing videographer, JMO, who is a Bend legend.
At JMO Vision on Instagram, at JMO Vision. Got to check him out.
He is a legend, and for good reason. Like, literally, we call him with an idea and he turns our jumbled vision into a cinematic like masterpiece. Exactly. And now, just as an example, our idea was to go rock hunting, and some people might think that's boring. I think JMO thought it was boring at first, but then he was like, oh dude, I'm gonna get aerial photos in my plane. That's like next level.
Yeah, no, he's a good dude for sure. He's the kind of person that you pick up the phone, you say an idea to, and he goes, oh, I know somebody for that. If you need a reference for anything in Bend, call JMO. And be careful if you call JMO. You need to have blocked out at least 15 to 30 minutes of your time, because JMO is a talker and he's got lots of stories to tell. And he's, just someone that'll always make you laugh, and definitely someone we are grateful to have in our sphere.
For sure. So talk to us a little bit about who we met yesterday, Sarah, and what you're what you were assuming we would find.
So JMO, being the fun, funky, local, washed up guy that he is, introduces us to all kinds of colorful folks. So when he said, hey, I've got some friends who make a living off of digging up rocks and turning into jewelry, I'm just totally expecting, what are you expecting? Have a vision in your head. And for me, it was old, crusty, like overalls, like definitely long gray beard, like lots of dirt. No, we show up and we've got two 30-year-olds, like just strong, hip, whatever, just ready to roll. And I was just like, wait a minute, I did not expect that. You're throwing me for a loop. So I love the reminder, never judge a book by its cover, and to always, never assume based on appearances.
Yeah. Or preconceived notions. The beautiful part is that we did laugh because Sarah walked up to this guy and was like, oh, I was thinking you'd be old and crusty. Literally said those words, and he laughed. And he's funny enough. I am known as maybe one of the youngest rock hounds out here.
Yeah.
So most of the other ones definitely fit that description.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was a good laugh for both of us.
Totally fun. Yeah. So guys, we've been talking about this for weeks. And
That's my drum roll.
yeah. All right. So it's closing day on one of my fourplexes in St. Louis. I am selling it. I am a seller. I sold it for sale by owner, and it's closing day, and I still don't believe it's happening. It is 1:04 p.m. here. I'm supposed to have a mobile notary show up at 1:30, and I'm assuming that means that this is going to close. When in St. Louis, anything can happen. So I'm not hopeful even yet, honestly.
I'm hopeful.
Yeah. So I'm just still crossing all the fingers and toes, but guys, that is a really big freaking deal in my life, and I can't wait to tell you that when I'm totally out of it. So yeah, that's what's happening on the home front. We are starting to install some cabinetry, and that's really pretty much it that's going on. More flooring. Yep, just keeping the ball
Hopefully
rolling
no injuries. You wearing eye protection now, Sarah?
Oh, yeah. But no, we also learned you need eye protection when rock hounding too. That's another pro tip. What about you, Suze? What's going on in your crazy real estate life?
Yeah, I last week, Sarah kept me on task offering on a short-term rental in Hood River, Oregon, which is one of Oregon's other top spots. If Oregon, you know that basically Bend and Hood River is where everyone goes to play.
The coolest places to be.
Yeah. Why am I buying a short-term rental in Hood River?
You're semi
I'm
moving
there. Our business
as much
is
as you can.
expanding there. So you're going to have coverage all over the best parts of the state and beyond. But I am buying this as a short-term rental because of bonus depreciation, because of the fact that it's one of the few permitted short-term rentals in Hood River. And the bonus is that I asked for seller financing, and he said yes.
So we got him locked in before he could say no.
Yes. So now I'm in the inspection period, doing all the fun things that we do for buyers. It just feels different when you do it for yourself. It's funny, but yeah, doing all those things, keeping myself on track. Sarah's also keeping me on track.
Yeah, but let's just acknowledge too, though, that you're not losing roots in Central Oregon.
Absolutely.
You know, like, still own properties here,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you still have places to sleep here, and you're going to be here still a lot. And it's laughable saying Suzanne saying she's moving, because I'm not really sure that Suzanne actually has a true home base. She has homes in many places, and
just adding.
Yeah.
Adding.
Exactly.
So
So
now
it's really just an expansion.
Yeah, Baja, Bend, Hood River, and Portland. Yeah, that's what I got so
Not a
far.
big deal. Where she would go live. She's got properties elsewhere that she wouldn't live.
As do you.
Facts. Anyway, sorry about that.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's the latest.
Okay. All right. Let's get to our actionable takeaways and final thoughts. Listen, guys, if your calendar is chaos, fix that stuff. Okay, fix it first, because the calendar is the key to our life. Like I'm telling you, it's not used to not be my life, but now it is, and I love it. And I've actually got my family on board, and everybody is living the calendar life, man, and it's a good thing.
And stay tuned here for an affiliate link to like the master calendar that makes Sarah's life work.
Oh, yes.
We will put that in the show notes. It's amazing and has been life-changing for you.
Yeah, it's a good thing. My family has finally adopted my chaos, but that's because they need to keep up with me. Anywho,
We all do.
You can't build an empire without time blocking. Okay. Yeah. Real estate is about relationships. We know that. Okay. So we tell you this all the time, but that is like what keeps us coming back for more. Like that is what is actually fulfilling about this thing. So like our whole job, I guess, besides buying and selling real estate, like a big part of that is you have to build the relationships first, and then you have to nurture them and you protect them. Like it's true across the board when it comes to like your team and your partnerships and your clients. And like we're just finally in this space and time where I think we're like trying, like finally, like at least for me, I'm going to speak for myself. Like I'm finally releasing to the fact that like this is special, right? And we can't do it on our own, and we're also like only welcoming the people into our business and our sphere that are aligned. So
teammates and clients included.
Cool.
Yeah, it feels good.
It does.
to be in that space. Yes. And then finally, if you are ready to make some real money, like salary kind of money,
If you
in
wanna
real
play
estate.
Fannie and Freddie, if you want to figure out why people like owning banks.
Yeah. If you want to feel what it feels like to be a bank and
Yeah.
be in control and be the decider on a deal, like that is how you make real money in real estate without managing tenants, toilets, or teams. And we think that Primo Private Money Lending Academy is probably going to be your next step. And we have the tools, the resources, and the community to make that happen, because it's not just about recorded webinars that you can like not ever watch. It's about having a community and real deals and people supporting you and helping you learn a new skill that you can take with you into all the years of your life.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I've realized in life, invest sooner in
Mhm.
yourself. Like we only have this short amount of time. Do it now, because then you get to actually enjoy it for the rest of your years on this earth.
Yeah.
Like, the sooner you can afford it, like as soon as you can afford it, do it. Like just do it. If you want it, do it as soon as you can afford it. Listen, guys, there's going to be so much more about this coming your way. And the best way to track it is engaging with us, usually on the socials. That's where we're most active from day to day. I'm at Best Life Ben. Suzanne is at Suzanne Rose Moore. Of course, if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, you need to make sure you like it, you subscribe, you do the things like comment, let us know what else you want to hear about. Also, we have the Central Oregon Investor Network, and you're going to want to find the centralinvestornetwork.com and join our newsletter there. And that's how you can learn about our monthly meetups and hang out with us online or in person there too.
Oh yeah, we're everywhere. So thank you so much for listening to the Suzanne and Sarah Real Estate Investing Podcast. We will see you next week with lots more behind the scenes, lots more cool announcements and fun things to share with you, as well as actionable tips, like things you can do between now and next week to help you build your best life through real estate and private money lending.
Heck yeah.
All right, we'll see you next time.